Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Charlotte Motor Speedway Raceway. Here tonight you have the Pony Express Open Wheel for Amateurs division running around the NASCAR Roval. Gonna be a lot of fun tonight. Thank you for joining me on this Monday evening. First time seeing these F4 cars run around this very tight race course. Gonna take about a minute 17 to get around it. Going through qualifying right now. Tyler Langenberg, Zachary Nürnberger, and Zach Purcell are your top three so far as qualifying continues. Fastest lap is by Tyler Langenberg at a 1:17.04. Just about a second over Zachary Nürnberger. Currently going to jump on board with the number 91 as he's going into the backstretch chicane, uses that curb and uses that apron. Should be a lot of fun here tonight. Glad to have you with us. Thank you to our sponsors in that bottom right-handed corner. Wrestling Over Everything. Anything about wrestling you want to see, talk about, or just discuss. Wrestling Over Everything on Facebook. Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. Anything about nerds, Star Wars, DC, Marvel, Disney, whatever, video games. Go check them out. New episodes out every Tuesday night live stream and Friday for audio. And then Gulf Digital Services. Need iRacing paints? Do you need digital graphics? Go talk to my good friend Joe over at Gulf Digital Services. Right now, it is Langenberg with a 1:17.04 with the fastest lap. Paul Boyle looking to better his time. He's currently sitting at a 1:18.26. Looks like Tony Watson currently not taking a time. Sitting with the center field cam here. All the way around the race course. Gonna get you a little bit closer. Gonna jump on the roll bar as he's going through 3 and 4. Getting up to speed, gonna have to drop it all the way down to third gear. Doesn't use any of that apron, and will he improve? Waiting for it to come up on the leaderboard. Hasn't populated yet. No, he hasn't. Qualifying has finished. So let's show you the results for qualifying. Here's the grid for tonight's event at the Charlotte Roval. On screen right there, you got Tyler Langenberg with a 1:17.041. Zachary Nürnberger going to start second. Third goes to Zach Purcell. Fourth, Sheriff Mark Dillon. Fifth goes to Paul Boyle. And sixth to Tony Watson. Going to bring up the wonderful race details. Here it is. The race info for the Charlotte Roval. 2.24 mile racetrack. Air temperature sitting at 71 degrees. We're in Concord, North Carolina. 66 degrees outside. And I'm sorry, track temperature is at 71 degrees. Humidity at 53%. Partly cloudy. Could see a little bit of shade. But here we are at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval event. If this is your first time watching the Open Wheel for Amateurs division with the Pony Express Racing League, you are in for a treat. Big treat. First feature event is 20 minutes long. Then, followed by that, we have a 5-minute warm-up, allowing drivers to rest, get a drink, use the restroom, and then we go back for a half-hour full throttle event to figure out which one of these drivers is going to be our overall winner. I think last week Tyler Langenberg clinched the Pony Express Open Wheel for Amateurs Championship. We will get more confirmation with that at the end of the night. But here we go, everybody. Tyler Langenberg, Zachary Nuremberger, Zach Purcell, Mark Dillon, Paul Boyle, and Tony Watson all on track tonight. Looks like that number 91 of our leader Langenberg having some issues with blinking, but hopefully that fixes itself before it becomes an issue going through the inner part of this race course tonight. Been an amazing season. I've been very grateful that the Pony Express, Mark Dillon, Zach Purcell, Zachary Nuremberger, I very much thank them for allowing me to come back and broadcast this Open Wheel for Amateurs series. Been a lot of fun. Tonight is the final race of the season. If you're interested in NASCAR Endurance Open Wheel, come check out the Pony Express Racing League. Check them out on Facebook. But until next year, can't wait to see that schedule. Alright, got my little trusty track map out so I can know what turns everybody's in, but we are in NASCAR 3 and 4, getting ready to go green and get the season finale race started tonight. Gonna go by fast, and I mean very fast. If you're watching in the chat, come say hi. Always happy to talk to people watching the race tonight.
Green flag, green flag.
Alright, here we go. Green flag in the air. Langenberg with an excellent run into turn number 1. Already extending his lead by almost a second. Getting through these first couple turns is very crucial on these old tires. We're actually going to jump to Nuremberger just to try to alleviate the blinking. Gap is closing in very fast, but look at Purcell. Purcell closing in, and so is Sheriff Mark Dillon. Mark Dillon really getting through turn 7, 8, and now 9, which is NASCAR 2, very well. Gonna try to use that draft going through turn 10 all the way down to turn 11, which is the bus stop. Currently looking at Zach Purcell here. A little bit of a closer view. Single file. Look, race leader having already a second out. That's Tyler Langenberg. Using that curb to his advantage. Great run down the front stretch. He blinks out one more time. Man, look at how fast these corners are. $18 minutes on the board left. Looking at about a minute 20-ish per lap. So we're definitely going to see less than 20 laps in our first feature tonight. Probably looking closer to about 14 to 15. towards Mark Dillon, trying to take that third place away from Purcell. Purcell's going to block the inside going into the backstretch chicane. And great run by that 51, extends his lead. Gonna jump back up towards the front as Tony Watson has an issue. Go back and check this out. He had to jump to pit road. He is that one car, that Marlboro one car, going into turn one. Is he just gonna loop it here? Yes, he is. Oh, and a lot of damage. Looks like that left rear tire is gone. He's gonna have to jump the pit road. Still alive here. Tyler Langenberg has almost a 2-second lead over Nürnberger, and then a 3-second lead over Purcell. Doing a very good job up front, pulling away, staying consistent. It is what we have seen all season long. But we're going to go back to Purcell and Dillon as this battle still rages on early in this event. Purcell pulling away from Mark Dillon by just about a second now. See if that closes in on braking. It does, but not a lot. Just under a second between both drivers. Tony Watson now back on the racetrack after a 2-minute 25-second pit stop to repair that damage. Now back on the racetrack, a lap and a half down. Ooh, issue with Nürnberger. He was our second place driver. Having that issue drops him back to 5th. Let's see what happens. Here it is. Oh, he's just going to get really loose. Almost clips Purcell. Going up that hill on somewhat fresh tires. Excuse me. Somewhat on fresh tires. Having an issue like that happens a lot in any sort of racing. You know, you're going off camber and cresting over a hill. Would definitely not surprise Nürnberger having to hit pit road. Didn't see a lot of damage, maybe pitting for tires. Purcell currently your second place driver, followed by Dillon and then Paul Boyle. Go back up to your race leader, Tyler Langenberg. Sliding that car back on the racetrack through turn 9 into turn number 10. 11 and 12 is the bus stop on the backstretch. And take a look through the driver of the 91's view. The downshift to third, clip both aprons on entry. Get very close to the inside wall on exit and stays on that blue and white line. His best lap this event so far is a 1:16.85. Isn't gonna better it this lap, but he is throwing consistency after consistency after consistency. We've seen this every race. Ooh, thought he was gonna hit the wall there. See, these tires are starting to wear. A little bit slower that lap. Almost a second slower altogether, but hasn't really phased Langenberg at all. Doing a wonderful job keeping that car underneath him, number one. And number two, still pulling away from the competition. on the backstretch on lap 5. You'd see Purcell and Dylan right behind him. We're actually going to jump to that because that battle has closed up once again. Going to go to our center field cam. See that nice gap between the both of them. It seems like Purcell is really good with these chicanes, and Dylan is getting close enough to Purcell through the infield portion of the track leading to the backstretch chicane. Gap between Purcell and Dylan just about half a second. Oh, and Nürnberger, another incident. See if he has to jump the pit road. What happened? On the backstretch, most likely into the chicane. You gonna clip too much of that? It looks like he does. On exit, clips too much of the little turtle there, spins the car. It doesn't hit anything, which is good. But Mark Dillon having an issue losing ground on Purcell. I'm gonna go back and watch that as well. See, Dylan goes off track. Not too bad. Gotta lose a little ground cutting through that. You want to use that runoff, just not to that extent. Alright, here's this battle once again. We are back live. Dylan's gonna back up his turn, try to use the run. You see him going into turn number 1. Great battle back here. They are both still losing time to Tyler Langenberg. That gap is just about 5 seconds. But here comes Paul Boyle. Paul Boyle throwing his hat into the ring to try to take one of these podium positions for the first feature, as we are almost halfway. A little bit of a lockup on the Dillon machine. It's going to lose a little more time to Purcell. There it is. There's the 14 of Paul Boyle closing in on Mark Dillon. We're going to stick right here to bring that battle to you as it's getting closer, as Mark Dillon's coming to pit road. Up front, it is still Tyler Langenberg. I know a lot of his friends, family tune into these races to watch that number 91 absolutely kick some butt. Nope. And he's back. Very consistent, very good. You see him sliding the car when he knows he can slide it. Still pulling away, keeping that distance right around 5 seconds to Zach Purcell in the number 51 Envisions machine. And there's the 14 of Paul Boyle. Now, Mark Dillon came down pit road for service. He was in his pit stop for 0.818 seconds. Maybe a little bit of fuel, but that's kind of weird to just come down pit road for that much. Still watching this battle between Purcell, and it's really a battle between Boyle. Can Boyle get to the back bumper or the back wing of Purcell? Can he force Purcell to have an issue? Looks like he was just very slow that last lap. running a 118 when the two drivers in front of him were in the low 117. There's the battle right there. You see Boyle come off the corner, glued to that apron. You want to see him kind of flare out towards the wall, use that momentum. But that gap is just about 2.5 seconds now between second and third, Purcell and Boyle. Seems like every lap Boyle is closing in ever so little. A half a second faster than Purcell that last lap. That'll do. Also a half a second faster than our leader Langenberg. Paul Boyle, what has he found? Really putting on a good couple laps here. Not so great in Sector 1. Looking for his Sector 2 time now. All right through Sector 2. Has a 10.58 Sector 2. Langenberg has slowed down just a tad. Could he be trying to save some fuel? Did Mark Dillon know something? Another half a second better for Paul Boyle. You're watching this 14. We're actually going to jump on board with Boyle via the gyro cam. See the little bit of banking and that number 51 Purcell machine get closer and closer. You can hear the engine when he lets off the gas, when he shifts, goes straight up to the wall and comes right back down. That curve in the camera, that's showing the banking. Pretty cool camera. See if he has a better lap here. Gets through the chicanes very well. And still just a tad faster than Purcell. Gonna look at the gearbox of Purcell's machine at the number 14. Your leader, Tyler Langenberg, we're actually gonna take a look at that momentarily because he looks to have slowed down. That lead has dropped down to 5 seconds where it was 6.5 plus. Could he be saving a little bit of fuel to make it to the end with just minutes remaining? Down to just under 5 seconds now as he extends that through the front stretch chicane and the front stretch into turn number 1. doing everything he can to stay up front. Get you a little nice view of the nose almost right on the track. Out of turn number 2, heading towards the backstretch chicane. Such an awesome view right on pavement. See, a lot of stock cars really abuse those turtles, being able to use them with their ride heights. But Langenberg, no problem, uses them, abuses them, and pulls away because of it. Also, Langenberg almost a half a second slower than both Purcell and Boyle. Is he really backing up his turns? Battle for second, starting to heat up here. Gap to these two drivers now under a second. And both drivers coming to pit road. Also, Langenberg coming to pit road. They can't make it. With just 25 seconds remaining, the white flag should be coming out. There it is, white flag in the air. There it is, waving. Langenberg back on the racetrack. Can Mark Dillon bunny hop any of these drivers? Oh, it is a 3-driver battle for the second place. Oh, this is gonna be good. Almost 5 seconds out from Paul Boyle is Tyler Langenberg, but the battle is all right here. Purcell might be in a good spot, but I don't think Paul Boyle is. Mark Dillon with just a couple tenths separating. Can he gain that position? Here he goes, overdriving into the turns, down to 3 tenths. Needs a good exit, kinda has it, not really there. Checkered for feature number 1 is gonna go to Tyler Langenberg. Second to Zach Purcell. Paul Boyle to third. Mark Dillon to fourth. Very close battle between all of them. And here comes Zachary Nürnberger for fifth in feature number 1. We will invert the field, so Tony Watson will start on pole, followed by Zachary Nürnberger, Mark Dillon, Paul Boyle, Zach Purcell, and Tyler Langenberg. But that was a pretty awesome finish there between the bottom, the second, third, and fourth place positions. Let's see if anybody's going to come out and take any practice laps. We're going to go to a quick NDNT, Nerds Doing Nerd Things commercial. The podcast episodes live stream on their YouTube every Tuesday night. And then for the audio listeners, That comes out every Friday morning. Here it is, the Nerds Doing Nerd.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
We're just waiting for warm up to finish, and then we are going to our half-hour feature event. But back to the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. Like I said, new episodes every Tuesday night, live streamed on their YouTube. Just type in Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. Tomorrow night it is the Lightyear episode, the Buzz Lightyear episode. That's going to be a lot of fun. Have a lot of comments on that. But we also want to hear from you. Come join us tomorrow night on that YouTube page. But also like to thank our other partners, Gulf Digital Services. If you need iRacing paints done, if you need any graphic design, like posters, images, anything like that done, go check out Gulf Digital Services and Wrestling Over Everything. If you're into wrestling, AEW, New Japan, WWE, TNA, go check out that Facebook page where wrestling fans can be nerds just like anybody else. Tony Watson is going to grid here. See if it goes up right. Yep, Tony Watson out of Florida is going to be our pole sitter for feature number 2. Zachary Nurnberger in second. Third goes to Mark Dillon. Fourth to Paul Boyle. Fifth to Zach Purcell. And out of Florida, inverted completely, it is Tyler Langenberg, our feature number 1 winner. Going to have one pace lap around the Charlotte Roval, and then we are going green for a 30-minute shootout. If they had to pit in feature 1, you bet they're going to have to pit definitely in feature number 2, being a little bit longer. Would not be surprised if we get to... Pits are probably going to open from the minute we hit 10 minutes to the 20-minute mark, or just shy of 20-minute mark. Tony Watson is going to lead the field to green once that iRacing safety car hits pit road. Warming up those tires in second gear. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to the Pony Express Open Wheel for Amateurs League for letting me sponsor every race for them this season. It's been a lot of fun. It's been an honor, a pleasure. I very much enjoyed interviewing all these wonderful people. But now it is the final feature event as they're clearing turn 2. Still on board with Tony Watson. He's trying to warm up the tires, get some heat into them. Would not be surprised if we saw him slam on the brakes just a little bit, get really close to that safety car, slam on the brakes to get heat in the brakes as well. It is almost a 90-degree angle turn 1 into the infield of Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hey, everybody watching tonight on this beautiful Monday evening here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Who you thinking? Who's going to win feature number 2? Will Langenberg come straight to the front? Or are we going to see Nürnberger or Dylan or even Paul Boyle, who consistently put fast lap after fast lap? We are about
Green flag,
to go
green
green.
flag.
Here we go. Green is in the air. And into turn number 1, you have Watson, Nürnberger, and Dylan. So far, so good in the first couple turns. The Nürnberger looking to that inside, but Watson powering down. Here comes to 32, still looking to the inside, gonna push the number 1 wide just a tad, and they spin. Oh, and they're gonna collect Mark Dillon as well. Mark Dillon still wrecking. Oh! Big incident. That started all the way back here. We're going to take it from the center field camera to get a better view. Holy cow. Holy moly. You see the number 1 of Tony Watson get spun by the 32. Mark Dillon nowhere to go. And they just stay together. Still watching. Still side by side. A little bit of a wheel hop there. Oh. And that's what causes it. You're going to see these 4 drivers also get involved. Wow. That ain't good. That ain't good at all. But right now, it is all Tyler Langenberg, nobody in sight. The 4 competitors of lap 1, starting with Tony Watson, Mark Dillon, Zach Purcell, and Zachary Nürnberger, all with incidents on the first lap of feature 2 through 7 and 8, or 6, 7, and 8. But now Langenberg with a 14-second lead over Paul Boyle. Can't believe I saw that on lap 1. Still kind of shocked. These drivers are very good at what they do, and 2 drivers just got together and caused 2 drivers to also pile right into everybody. But I can say with confidence on lap 2, unless something happens very catastrophic with Tyler Langenberg, he is gonna double win at Charlotte Motor Speedway tonight, or that could be very catastrophic if he blinks out and disconnects due to connection. But right now, Paul Boyle currently sitting in that second slot, 15 seconds back, as Langenberg enters the backstretch chicane. Paul Boyle hasn't even come out of turn 2 yet. Nürnberger having another issue. He had to jump the pit road, so this was a catastrophic crash. Something's broken on that car. Something's completely broken on that car. He pulls over and has to take it to pit road. Paul Boyle trying to climb into that deficit. almost 16 seconds. But Mark Dillon having an issue. He's going to drop 2 positions. See what happens out of turn 4 into the front stretch chicane. He's just gonna really drive in deep, lose the rear end, and then really have to get out of the way for Zach Purcell. Alright everybody, we are gonna run a crank it up here. Enjoy the sights and sounds of Charlotte Motor Speedway and the Pony Express open wheel for amateur. Sorry about that, everybody. We are back. Had a very eager coughing attack. Needed to get that addressed, but I did with some wonderful cough syrup. Hopefully that helps. But once again, thank you everybody for tuning in and sticking by while I had to address that. Langenberg is still your leader, coming from 6th place on the first lap after 1 through 4 having huge issues and wrecking out of turn number 7 and giving the lead right to Tyler Langenberg. Purcell gets passed by Tony Watson. Tony Watson doing a really good job so far. But he immediately hits pit road as we are in the pit window with just 17 minutes remaining. Don't know if you're going to take tires, but you're definitely going to take fuel. Definitely need that Sunoco fuel. But the gap now is 21 seconds. Langenberg to Boyle. That's first and second place. Dylan having an issue. Here he is on the front stretch. Let's see what happens here. He's going to have to jump to pit road, ending his night. Oh, destroys the front of that car. Gets really loose as they come up the hill. Wow, a lot of damage, and to pit road he goes. Paul Boyle now on pit road. He'll give up the second position, or maybe not. There's a pretty good pass right there by Purcell over Boyle. Would not be surprised if we saw Purcell come down pit road soon. But Langenberg with over a 45-second lead. Paul Boyle did have an issue, which you saw. So let's take another look at it once again. Coming out of turn 2, heading towards the backstretch chicane. Not a wreck, just a pretty heavy slowdown, lock up the tires. Other than that, he'll keep going and try to pass Zach Purcell. Zach Purcell has his own issue out of turn number 1. Here it is here. Oh, clips the turtle, and there it goes. Wow. That's going to extend that gap with that huge slowdown, that huge turtle pop. Now Boyle 50 seconds behind Tyler Langenberg and 8.5 and growing over Zach Purcell. Still looking at Paul Boyle as Purcell has come to pit road. He's going to give up the third position to Tony Watson. Tony Watson with a good run in this second feature. Purcell's still sitting in that second position. Here's where Langenberg is, all the way in the backstretch chicane, while Paul Boyle has just entered turn number 3. Purcell, I'm pretty sure without not the Purcell, Paul Boyle, pretty sure if he didn't have those issues, just like Sheriff Mark Dillon and a couple other drivers, they didn't have those issues on lap 1, we would see a heck of a tighter battle for that lead position. Appreciate everybody coming out watching the stream tonight. We've kind of topped out at about 5 or 6 people, as Paul Boyle is actually very slow coming out of the backstretch chicane, getting back up to speed, but very slow on exit. Tony Watson is actually closing in on that second position. He might still have to pit. He's doing a very good job since the incident on lap 1, where Watson and Nürnberger both were the first 2 incidents where Watson kind of backed off the track and Nürnberger and Dillon battled together, and that's what caused the other incident. But still battling back pretty hard. Doing a really good job sitting in that third position as he's closing in on Paul Boyle. Langenberg has just come to pit road. This will give us a better look. Oh, he came to pit road and then left pit road. See where that pretty much backs everybody out to. As Langenberg is putting on a whooping. Can't wait to see NASCAR come to the Roval in just about 2 months. Always love this event. Happy they did it. Kind of surprised we're gonna see a Chicago street course, but hey, would love to see these F4 cars in the future possibly run that Chicago street course that is on iRacing, that started on iRacing first and then got brought over to the real world side of racing. But up front, it is all Tyler Langenberg. That gap between Langenberg and Boyle, right around 36 seconds. now have two drivers out of this second feature. That is Sheriff Mark Dillon after his incident in turn number 1, and Zachary Nurnberger quickly out of the race right after that incident in turn number 7 on lap 1. Made it to pit road and called it quits there after the car died. But with just 7.5 minutes remaining in the open wheel for amateur season, Tyler Langenberg is currently leading and on pace to win the overall points for the evening, and in all honesty, the championship. Pretty sure he won that last week. Came out tonight looking to just add more stats, and will do it. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. Here's a quick commercial for the Nerds Do Nerd Things podcast.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
And we are back with 5.5 minutes remaining. Langenberg keeping that distance right at 37 seconds. Watson closing in on Paul Boyle. We're going to jump to that battle. Just about 5 seconds separating these two drivers, Boyle and Watson. Just under 5 laps remain in the open wheel for amateur season. If you're interested in running F4 cars with the Pony Express Racing League and the open wheel for amateurs, look up them on Facebook for the details to join the series. But thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. This is once again the final race of the season. Champion Tyler Langenberg is currently going for an overall win tonight and has really put on a show. Looking at Paul Boyle, looks like he's keeping Tony Watson at just around 5 seconds. That's the closest battle we have, so I think jumping to our race leader. There he is. There is the wonderful Tyler Langenberg. Alright, go jump on board with the number 91 as he taking this number 91 around the Charlotte Roval a couple more times to end the season. You see Zach Purcell out in front of him. Couple laps remaining. Actually, 2 laps remaining. Ooh, clipped a lot of that curb there. You saw a lot of correction in the wheel. Use all of the track. Down to 3rd gear. Gonna push it to 4th. Let it coast just a tad. Hard on the gas into NASCAR 2. He might actually catch Purcell. Excellent run tonight by Tyler Langenberg. Should be coming to the white flag. You know what that means. White flag in the air, which means it is the wrestling over everything white flag. And wrestling over everything, if you're into any sort of wrestling, TNA, WWE, AEW, New Japan, or even some indies around the United States, Mexico, and Canada, check out the page on Facebook where a bunch of wrestling fans can talk about wrestling. But into NASCAR 2, for the final time into the chicane. Think he's gonna let Purcell stay ahead of him? Or, if I was Purcell, let Langenberg pass me so I have to do one less lap. But out of NASCAR number 4 into the front stretch chicane, Tyler Langenberg will win both Feature 1 and Feature 2. Looking at second place, Paul Boyle right now. And he will cross for P2. P3 will go to Tony Watson. And Purcell passing the start-finish line right after Tyler Langenberg will finish P4, 1 lap down. See if we can get a talking with a couple drivers. Let's talk to second place driver Paul Boyle. Get that all set up. Rewind it to get ready to talk to him. And let's talk to Paul Boyle. Paul Boyle, Agent Capole in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
Copy, copy.
Hey, what's going on, dude? Great season, great race. I know there was an incident lap one of feature two, but overall, great season, and you still come home second tonight in feature two. What are your thoughts overall of the race, of the season? Let's hear them.
Tonight's race was indicative of the whole season as a greater whole, I think. Just Tyler Tyler outclassing the field and having a whale of a time out front. The instant lap one was one of those things. It's a case of close racing. Everyone in this league at the moment is in a really good, tight kind of field of lap times, and so anyone can follow anyone really closely, and that showed. Unfortunately, it was just a case of slightly too close in the infield today, lap one. But and yeah, I'm very fortunate that I was one of the least damaged to walk away from said crash.
Yeah, dude. But you said it. Langenberg was on a tear all season. You very much did a wonderful job all season. Very fun to watch in that number 14 Pony Express machine. Hope to see you continue to run your open wheel for amateur car in seasons to come. But overall, great season, pal.
Thank you very much. Yes, no, open wheel racing isn't my forte or my primary go-to, so it's great to try my hand and be rewarded with it.
Yeah, and you're just going to get better and better. iRacing was not my forte, and I've slowly gotten better and better. But takes a lot of practice, and you have, I think, come a long way from the first race to the final race at the Roval. But other than that, congratulations on a awesome season, and hopefully talk to you sometime in the future, pal.
Thank you very much, man. Yeah, no, thank you for broadcasting all year long.
Oh, absolutely. I love this league. I love talking to you guys and watching the races, so hopefully we get to have more endeavors together.
Can't wait.
All right, that was second place of the evening, Paul Boyle. We are going to talk to our race winner, our champion of the open wheel for amateurs, Mr. First Place, Tyler Langenberg. Tyler, AJ in the broadcast booth, you have a copy, pal.
Yes, I do. Hello.
Hey, so has the champagne popped yet? Have you been starting the adult beverages at all after winning the championship last week and coming out tonight and dominating? And I mean absolutely dominating.
Uh, I'd call the first one a little bit of domination, but I didn't really pull on them. But the second one, I will chalk up to one of my greatest wins, like ever.
Hey, a win's a win. They don't ask you how many they don't ask you how it happened. They ask you how many. So.
Yep.
But dude, hell of a season. Absolutely a pleasure to watch from the beginning to end. Even with missing a race or two, you come home the champion last week and just you win both feature 1 and 2 tonight. Overall, what are your thoughts of the season, pal?
I think it was a great season as a whole. I'd like to thank all the guys at Pony Express, especially Mark, the Zacks, everyone behind the scenes who made this season memorable. Even extending into the Dark Horse Open Wheel, even into the Endurance Series. I'd like to thank them. I'd like to shout out to the D-Line guys. This was just a great season.
Yeah, really enjoyed seeing your so-called fan base, because they'll show up every now and then, jump in the chat, have a little fun with me, but awesome. From start to finish from the season, you guys put on a hell of a show, and after finishing well in a lot of feature number ones, watching you come from the back, and even today, staying out of that incident, it was very, very hairy there on lap one, but once again, congratulations, pal.
Yep. Thank you, AJ.
Well, that is your race winner. of Feature 1 and 2, and season champion Tyler Langenberg. Enjoy the offseason. See you next year with the Open Wheel for Amateurs, hopefully.
Yep, thank you.
All right, everybody. That is it for the year, or the season, for the Pony Express Open Wheel for Amateurs. Thank you for tuning in all season. Very much appreciate it. Love you guys. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. But until then, stay safe, stay cool. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful couple weeks. If you want any part of the Pony Express Racing League, go check them out on Facebook. But until the next broadcast, stay cool, stay classy, stay safe. See you later.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.